We're learning more about the charges faced by the driver of a vehicle that crashed into a daycare in Richmond Hill, killing a toddler and putting another in critical condition. Good afternoon. The vehicle plowed through the front window of a daycare, killing a young child and injuring many others.
The driver, a man in his 70s, was arrested at the scene. CTV's Janice Golding is live with the latest from the scene this afternoon. Janice, what can you tell us at this stage?
Hi, Michelle. Well, this Richmond Hill community is reeling today from this tragedy. Person after person dropping by here to pay their respects at a growing memorial. Now, flowers, stuffed animals, and cards with messages like "Our prayers are with you" continue to be placed here just outside the First Roots Early Education Academy in Richmond Hill, the site of a tragic crash yesterday afternoon that claimed the life of a toddler. 6 other children between the ages of 1.5 and 3 years old were also injured, including one child that remains in critical condition. 3 staff members were also hurt in the incident. Police say it was around 3 p.m. when the accident happened, and there were about 100 kids and staff inside. The driver, a man in his 70s, has now been charged with dangerous driving causing death and dangerous operation causing bodily harm. But police do not believe the accident was intentional. At this point, police have not said why the man was in the parking lot. However, many are speculating he was there to pick someone up. Here's more from area parents.
And my 11-month one awake us in this daycare.
When you heard that this had happened, what went through your mind?
For the mother of this child. It's just sad.
She goes to the school. Her friends were there. Her friends got injured. Horrible. Like, they're little kids, right? I mean, why would someone do that to little kids?
Oh my God! I'm a mother. Like I couldn't see the video. I didn't want to open it because I feel like I would get too emotional.
On social media, the daycare center's account features a message that reads, "Our hearts are broken and our deepest condolences go out to the family." Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Janice. Picket lines have sprung up at Ontario colleges today where support staff members are on strike.
It comes after the union and colleges failed to reach a new contract agreement before the midnight deadline. CTV's Beth Macdonell is live at George Brown on King Street with more. Beth.
Nathan and Michelle, the mood here is upbeat as up to 10,000 support workers from Ontario's colleges across the province are on the picket line today. This is the reality after talks between their union and the College Employer Council broke down. These support staff employees include some members who work in the registrar's office, along with other office staff, healthcare, maintenance, shipping, cafeteria, security, and lab technicians. All classes are still continuing, the council says, and instructors are not part of this group. The College Employer Council says over the last 18 months, there has been a reduction in the number of students and revenue by as much as 50%, and that means less services are needed. Those now on strike say this is a time to unite.
What I'm doing on strike for the better wage, and then we got cut a lot for the programs and the educations. Without our support, it's not running, and then that's why we are here for.
We deserve a properly funded public college system, and our support staff deserve respect, job security, and decent working conditions. These are the things that should be afforded every worker in this province, and these are the things that the Ford government has abdicated their responsibility for. This is the fight of our lifetime. If we don't come together to stop the sell-off now, we're going to see the end of public post-secondary education in Ontario.
Unfortunately, they've insisted on keeping some demands that we've expressed for a long while now. We could never accept. Those are demands that they insist on having no layoffs for at least 3 years, and no reductions, I should say, not just no layoffs, no reductions in their staff, and no campus closures or campus mergers. And these are 2 items that the colleges can simply never agree to. These were added at the last minute, midway through bargaining.
This George-bound campus on King Street is a big one, and as you can see, there is a big turnout here today. College faculty reached an agreement back in October last year. Reporting live, I'm Beth Macdonell. Michelle and Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. To developing news in Barrie, where crews are working to dismantle a downtown encampment. This was the scene this morning along Mulcaster Street. Crews have blocked off a stretch of road. As they say, outreach teams have engaged with 44 people to try and relocate them to alternative housing and shelter options. Officials say 23 have accepted those offers so far. The removal effort comes after Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall declared a state of emergency on Tuesday, aimed at addressing the presence of encampments. His reasons include growing safety concerns, damage to municipal properties, and the ongoing toll of the opioid crisis.
A motorcyclist has been taken to hospital after a crash near the waterfront. This happened just after 9 last night near Harbour Street and Bay. A vehicle and a motorcycle collided, and the motorcyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation into just what happened continues.
3 women have been arrested for allegedly targeting the elderly and other vulnerable people in a distraction theft scheme. Since July, Toronto police say the women worked together to steal jewelry. They're facing 36 charges, including several counts of theft over $5,000 and participating in a criminal organization. Investigators have released their photos because they're concerned more people could be impacted. And we have more news in a moment, but first, here's a live look at the city this afternoon. Clear skies. This run of September sun continues. Lovely midsummer conditions, shorts and T-shirt weather during the day, so enjoy it if you can, because we all know that these conditions will not last forever. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Well, here's the thing, Nathan. These conditions might last for another week. Wouldn't that be nice? If you're waiting for some rain, I may have some good news for you this weekend. If you were hoping the weekend forecast was going to improve, I also have some good news for you. But let's talk about today. It is currently 23 degrees. We've said it a couple of times, feeling like summer, midsummer. Today may be the most humid day that we've had so far this week. We do, however, have a bit of a northerly wind. It's light in nature, but at the height of the afternoon, it is going to feel like 28 out there. We're forecasting a daytime high of 25 degrees under mainly sunny skies. A little more cloud today for areas further to the north. But as mentioned, the possibility of rain into this weekend appears to be diminishing. So we'll take you through the weekend forecast and beyond coming up here on CTV News. But for now, Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Prime Minister Mark Carney set to speak in Edmonton this hour and announce the first round of nation-building projects today, designed to reduce our economic reliance on the U.S. CTV's Jeremy Sharon joins us now for more. Jeremy, any details on what those first major projects might be?
Yeah, Nathan, look, this is highly anticipated. The first list of projects Prime Minister Mark Carney and his government are going to recommend to be fast-tracked as part of these new nation-building projects in Bill C-5, which had this exact goal of identifying projects of national interest. CTV News has obtained a document that identifies those 5 projects that will be announced today. The first is a liquefied natural gas project based out of Kitimat, BC. That's LNG Canada Phase 2, and the expansion would double Canada's production of liquefied natural gas. This one is significant because former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had made the case that there was no business case for exporting Canadian liquefied natural gas to Europe. That has shifted under this government. We've seen Carney's government or show interest again in liquefied natural gas and specifically exporting it to European markets. Germany, to name one, that is a country Canada has been in talks with already, and this government has said there are buyers for Canadian liquefied natural gas. So that is a significant project and one of them that will be announced today. Another is the Darlington new nuclear project in Clarington, Ontario. That would make Canada the first G7 country to have an operational small modular reactor. So another significant project. The third would be the Contrecoeur terminal container project in Contrecoeur, Quebec, and that would expand the Port of Montreal's capacity by approximately 60%. Again, a significant project with massive implications when it comes to Canada's export capabilities. And then the two others that will be announced today is the Port of Churchill's, or rather, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The other two are the McGilvena Bay Foreign Copper Mine Project in East Central Saskatchewan, and the other is the Red Chris Mine expansion in Northwest British Columbia. Those are the 5 projects that the federal government will recommend today. They'll also talk about another 5 projects that they believe are kind of interest and that they'll be watching closely that could potentially become projects that they recommend down the line. And what happens with these 5 that they will recommend today is they'll get pushed to the Major Projects Office, where we'll see this kind of fast tracking process in action, and it'll allow for regulatory approvals and things to happen in an expedited way. So this is kind of step number 1 to the development of these big projects that we've been hearing so much about.
All right, CTV's Jeremy Sharon in Ottawa. Thank you.
Anytime.
Meanwhile, the leader of the federal Conservatives was in Woodbridge this morning for an announcement on public safety. Pierre Poilievre detailed a new bill called the Jail Not Bail Act.
Judges will no longer be required to release the accused at the earliest opportunity under the least onerous conditions. It will introduce a new major offenses category that requires anyone accused of sexual assault, firearms offenses, kidnapping, human trafficking, home invasion, robbery, extortion, arson, and other serious charges. They will then have the onus on them to prove that it is safe to release them on bail. We will strengthen bail laws by mandating judges also consider the accused full criminal history and prevent anyone with prior major convictions from getting bail.
Poilievre says he wants the Prime Minister to reverse Liberal bail laws the Tory leader alleges are unleashing terror in Canadian communities.
The cleanup continues across the city after at least 16 speed cameras were chopped down overnight on Monday.
The vandalism spree prompting the Premier to question the effectiveness of the photo enforcement cameras. CTV's Alison Hurst has more on the ongoing debate.
There are signs a new automated speed camera is coming to the East End, despite 16 being vandalized in one night this week right across the city.
It sounds like things are getting organized. That's really unfortunate.
This one to be added on Gerrard Street East near Degrassi.
I think it's a waste of money putting a camera here.
I think they should get it around the school area. It's important for cars to slow down where students are crossing.
I just don't think it has like a lasting impact. So you pass the speeding camera and then you speed again.
It's the opposite of what Premier Doug Ford wants municipalities to do. Following the vandalism, he's calling for the cameras to be removed, saying they unfairly target drivers traveling marginally over the speed limit.
It's just a tax grab, and they should take out those cameras, all of them.
The Ministry of Transportation doubled down, saying we want to see cities take steps to remove them. Otherwise, we are prepared to help get rid of them when the House returns in the fall. These comments follow a study done by researchers with Sick Kids and TMU that found a 45% reduction in speeding after these cameras were installed.
The fact that he is contemplating stopping these is actually quite concerning because we do know they are effective. Speed is one of the major determinants of collisions and also of injury.
The province has tried to meddle in municipal issues recently with its attempts to rip up some bike lanes in Toronto. An Ontario Superior Court justice found the plan violated the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but the province is appealing that decision.
I do find it bizarre that the province is feeling that they want to influence city policies that are designed to protect their citizens.
In terms of replacing those damaged cameras, a city spokesperson tells CTV News there is no cost to the city and no additional taxpayer dollars are spent when an ASC device is damaged, as that is built into the contract with the vendor. The new one on Gerrard Street is expected to be installed at the end of October. Alison Hurst, CTV News.
The province is launching a series of career fairs to attract more youth and job seekers to the skilled trades. The Level Up initiative features multi-day events, open house sessions, and more than 200 exhibits showcasing dozens of career paths in the trades. This year, there will be 29 job fairs in 12 communities with more than 50,000 people expected to attend. Ontario Labour Minister David Piccini spoke with CP24 this morning about the effort to cultivate interest and involvement in the trades, especially in the context of youth unemployment.
We, for a long time, have been told that you know, there's only one path, and that's through either university, college, etc. And we as a government have tackled that stigma and have said you can go to a community college and get a rewarding career in the trades. You can join a union training hall, get a rewarding career in the trades. And we need these skill sets. AI is not going to affect your plumber, your pipe fitter, your steam fitter. We need these people. We have a new nuclear commitment. We're one of the few countries on planet Earth that are thinking ambitiously to build new nuclear. Well, it's going to take a lot of carpenters. It's going to take a lot of steam fitters, pipe fitters, a tremendous amount of laborers to get that done.
Grade 7 to 12 students interested in attending the career fairs are encouraged to contact their school board's Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program recruiter, a teacher or school guidance counselor to register. Now, you can visit levelupontario.ca for a list of locations.
Below the border, authorities are searching for a sniper who assassinated conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah in front of a crowd and then disappeared amid the mayhem. CTV's Kamal Karamali joins us live now. He's been following the story. Bring us up to speed, Kamal. Any new developments in this case?
Yeah, lots of developments today, Michelle, including just a few minutes ago, the FBI releasing the images of a person of interest. You can see here that the person is wearing a long-sleeved black shirt with what appears to be an American flag on the front, sunglasses, and a black hat as well. Once again, this just being released by the Salt Lake City branch of the FBI, saying that they are asking for the public's help in identifying this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Now, earlier today, the FBI said that they have a few breakthroughs in tracking the movements of the shooter and other clues as well, including recovering the weapon they believe was used in the shooting, which they say is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will now analyze this weapon. Investigators also collected other clues, including footwear impression, a palm print, forearm imprints for analysis as well. They also said that the suspect blended in well with the college institution and appears to be of college age. And through doorbell cameras, CCTV footage, as well as eyewitness accounts, which there were hundreds of, they were able to track the shooter's movement. Have a listen to what the FBI agents had to say earlier today.
That individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public's help and the media's help in pushing those photos. That was a new development overnight, working through the night, studying those cameras. So that's something that's new and that we're working through right now.
Yeah, so you heard it there. What's quite interesting is just a few hours ago, FBI agents said that they would not release pictures of the suspect because they want to work through their own internal investigation and their own technologies that they have obtained in this, quote, good video that they've obtained in identifying this individual. And if they aren't successful in that, then only then would they release images or video of the suspect. Now, once again, just a few minutes ago, releasing pictures of what they call not a suspect, but, quote, a person of interest. They were also able to track this person's movement just about 30 minutes before Charlie Kirk was shot, saying that around 11:52, they see an individual enter the campus, go up some stairs and onto the roof, and then after the shooting, jump off the roof and run by into a nearby neighborhood where they were trying to track this individual. Once again, the headline being this morning and this afternoon, Michelle, that this suspect remains at large in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. Back over to you.
But certainly some progress there, which is a good thing. Help us understand who Charlie Kirk was. We know that he was a close ally of Trump and credited with mobilizing young voters in America.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why he came into the spotlight. Was at the young age of 18, he started his own group that galvanized the youth vote for the right. So he was a U.S. conservative activist and a big supporter of Donald Trump, and he was primarily known for doing what you saw there when he was fatally killed. He was known for openly debating people while touring with his organization, which he was the CEO of. He also used social media. He had a big TikTok following on that platform and other platforms as well, and was known for social media and campus organizing to become highly influential in the hard right movement. Trump even credited Kirk for galvanizing and mobilizing the youth vote that propelled him to victory in 2024. So even nicknaming him the Trump Whisperer. So Trump himself saying that they are very saddened and saying that we love you, Charlie, in his message to Charlie and the public. Back over to you.
The father of two as well. CTV's Kamal Karmali, live for us in the National Newsroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Solemn ceremonies were held in the United States today on the 24th anniversary of the September 11th attacks.
David Gregory Arce.
Michael George Oczynski.
Louis Arena.
The names of the nearly 3,000 victims, including 24 Canadians, were read aloud during a memorial service at the World Trade Center's site in New York. There were similar commemorations at the Pentagon and near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, in tribute to the victims of Flight 93. People across the country are also marking the anniversary with service projects and charitable works as part of a National Day of Service.
Well, all week long, it was looking like we could be in for a bit of an unsettled weekend. I'm happy to share that the forecast seems to have improved. If you're hoping for dry weather anyway, not expected to be completely dry. Still a chance of showers in many areas, including parts of cottage country, as you'll see here, but also a fair amount of sunshine and temperatures warmer than or close to the seasonal mark. Here's a look at our forecast radar, an early look, and yeah, not a whole lot of wet weather for the GTA. If your lawn is looking a little parched, we might have to wait a little bit longer before we get a decent soaking, at least from Mother Nature. Coming up, we're going to take you through the 7-day forecast and show you how things are looking into next week. More sun, more dry weather. How about more warmth? Details after this.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said to unveil some major projects to ease the country's economic reliance to our neighbors to the south. He's speaking right now in Edmonton. Let's listen in.
Started the construction of the Trans-Canada Highway. In just 5 years, during the 1950s, the St. Lawrence Seaway was brought to life, with 7 locks stretching over 300 kilometers, linking the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. Since then, it's transported more than 3 billion tons of cargo. A few years later, Canada built Expo 67, the World's Fair, which went from concept to completion in just 4 years. The point of these examples is that we used to build big things in this country, and we used to build them quickly. It's time to get back at it, and it's time to get on with it. That starts with getting out of the way. For too long, the construction of major infrastructure in Canada has been stalled by arduous and inefficient approval processes. Uncertainty, red tape, duplication, complicated review processes have held back and curbed investment. One of many studies has shown that the regulatory requirements in Canada have increased by more than 40% since 2006. And that's been suppressing investment growth by 9%. Right now, to receive an approval, major projects must undergo numerous reviews and assessments that often happen one after the other, instead of running in parallel. For too long, when federal agencies have examined a project, their immediate question has been, why? That changes now. From now on, Canada's new government starts by asking ourselves for major projects, how? How can we do it bigger? How can we do it faster? Nous avons fait campagne en promotant d'accélérer la réalisation des grands projets. Nous travaillons avec détermination et conviction pour réaliser ce mandat. En juin dernier, nous avons fait adopter la loi visant à bâtir le Canada, qui permet au gouvernement fédéral d'accélérer la réalisation de projets d'intérêt national. Over the summer, as you just heard, we opened the new Major Projects Office and headquartered it right here in Alberta. It's a single point of contact to get nation-building projects built faster. And we appointed the incredibly hard-working Dawn Farrell to lead this new office. She brings 4 decades of experience in energy and infrastructure, and a proven ability and enthusiasm, best job in the country, proven enthusiasm to get things done. The Major Projects Office will help to structure and coordinate financing for our major projects. And it will accelerate those projects by creating a single set of conditions and reducing the approval timelines for those projects to a maximum of 2 years. Now, part of changing how we build is to build in true partnership with Indigenous peoples. And to begin that, this summer I hosted 3 summits to engage First Nations, Inuit, and Métis rights holders on their priorities, and to explore the opportunities for equity ownership and broader economic benefits from this generational transformation in the Canadian economy. Yesterday, we announced the membership of the Indigenous Advisory Council. This is comprised of representatives from First Nations, Inuit, Métis, and modern treaty and self-governing partners. The members bring deep expertise in economic participation, impact assessments, and UNDRIP. And the Council will ensure that projects move forward in true partnership with Indigenous peoples. Bâtir un Canada fort veut dire bâtir
Canada strong means building together. Let's be clear.
Nous allons nous employer à bâtir ce que les
We
gens souhaitent.
will work to build what people want rather than disputing what they are rejecting.
To be in Canada's national interest, a major project must strengthen Canada's autonomy, our resilience, and our security. It must have clear benefits for Canadians. It must have a high likelihood of being completed. It must contribute to clean growth in Canada's climate goals. And it must advance the interests of Indigenous peoples. We'll advance projects that turbocharge and connect our regional economies, as well as our economy to the world. Projects that diversify our products and markets.
Minister Mark Carney speaking in Edmonton, announcing his first round of nation-building projects to reduce our reliance on the U.S. They include the Darlington Nuclear Project in Clarington, Ontario, to make small modular reactors, and also the expansion of the Red Chris mine in BC. There are others as well. All this to boost the economy and create, as he says, hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs. Of course, we'll continue to follow this announcement and give you more details on our shows at 5 and 6 tonight.
And it happens to be a lovely sunny day in Edmonton, and here in Toronto, much the same. It's warm, it's getting warmer, there's a lot to like.
Yeah, it does feel again like midsummer, and what I love is when I look ahead to the forecast, it's like we're just seeing 20s across the board.
Yeah, it continues, not just the warmth, but the sun. You know, we had one very rainy morning, but otherwise we've been spoiled by the September sun so far, and that pattern looks to continue. Even into this weekend when things were initially looking pretty cloudy, a little unsettled, we have improved, and it looks like most areas are going to be dry both Saturday and Sunday. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers you don't pay unless they win. Nice start to the day today. Not only did we have sun, but we had some warmth as well. Temperatures quite warm, in fact, right across southern Ontario. It is a little bit different in through the north at this hour. Once again, it is a cool day in Moosonee as well as Timmins. But around the south, we have temperatures in the mid-20s now. Look at that. It is 24 degrees at this hour in the city of Toronto. At the height of the day today, it's going to feel more like 28, and 25 is what we are forecasting as a core temperature. Mainly sunny skies to a mix of sun and cloud, depending on where you're joining us from. Not quite as humid in places like Bancroft, Parry Sound, Owen Sound. But we're not also looking at record heat. So the record to beat for this day in the city of Toronto is about 34 degrees. That was set back in 1952. Little shout out to Hamilton, which was the provincial hotspot earlier this morning. We'll update you on who's leading the pack at this point in just a moment. Evening at a glance tonight. So this is around 8 p.m. If you're headed to a TIFF red carpet, you can expect partly cloudy skies or just a few clouds. A northerly wind that is very light out there. And again, calm conditions. Overnight tonight, the temperature drops to about 13, which is on the warm side of seasonal. Single digits in places, again, Parry Sound, Bancroft, Orillia, Owen Sound. Peterborough, 7 is what we're forecasting for you overnight tonight. Let's talk about tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud once again. I do think it's possible we could get some patchy fog into tomorrow morning, but that will burn off and make way for another nice day. 25 degrees tomorrow for you in Woodstock, 23 in the Shelburne area, as well as Innisfil and Ajax. Nice looking day for you too. How about Gravenhurst, 22, Cobourg, 22 degrees, and 21 in the Perth area. All is looking pretty quiet on the satellite and radar. A little more cloud east of Georgian Bay and into eastern sections of Ontario. But again, look how quiet things appear to be as we make our way through the next few days here, including into the weekend. Setting the forecast, radar in motion. A little bit of patchy fog tomorrow morning, mix of sun and cloud for your Friday. Some cloud is going to build in for Friday night and into Saturday. Saturday, chance of showers, not a sure thing by any means. And then Sunday is looking sunny. Temperature back up around 24 after 21 degrees on Saturday. And look at next week. This pattern actually extends beyond Wednesday. So lots to look forward to if you have been enjoying the weather that we currently have. That's your forecast for now. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Toronto's Hillcrest Village has a vibrant new landmark. An 8-story mural has gone up titled Yellow Oasis. CTV's Jessica Smith is live on St. Clair West with a look at this public artwork. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Nathan, it is breathtaking. And when you're walking around the city, we have so much beautiful public art. And I always say you can never have too much. We have another really beautiful piece. And it's all kind of in collaboration with the STEPS Public Art Program. Angeli, we've spoken before. Talk to me about this initiative because it just adds this insanely beautiful pop of color to this neighborhood.
Sure, yeah. STEPS Public Art, we're a public art charity and social enterprise. We work across the country. And this project was almost a year in the making. A local resident identified this wall as being one that was struck with graffiti, and we did a bunch of engagements with local community members. We had 3 artists that were a part of presenting a proposal, and the community voted, and Yasmin Mirza was the artist that was ultimately selected and created this amazing, impactful work.
And Yasmin, you're here with us, and I have to say, when I walked up, it was so striking, not only just the size, but all the beautiful colors. Talk to me about the inspiration behind this 8-story piece.
Yeah, thank you. So this is inspired by Garrison Creek, known in this neighborhood. My style is inspired by nature, so I try to cover a nature-based theme. As you can see, there's a mother nature up there. She's watching over the neighborhood, and then she's talking, to animals, plants. In this piece, I try to kind of like connect nature with people.
And you have that bit of a concrete jungle, but nature feel. What do you want people to take away when they look at this? We're going through our daily lives. We see the streetcar going by. People are going to the bank here. But what do you want people to kind of take away from all this?
I would love people to just pause for a second, like away from their car, home, phone, We're so busy these days, and then take a moment to appreciate art in the city and, just get into the mood.
Yeah, to get into the mood, and it's a happy mood. We're going to send things over to break. We'll have more news and weather coming up after this.
It's called the September spike, a jump in asthma attacks as kids go back to school.
CTV Health reporter Pauline Chan has more on why it happens and how to prevent it.
7-year-old Benji was diagnosed with asthma as a baby, and his mom says back to school is definitely a time when he gets more problems.
There's exposure to other children who are sick, and he gets sick easily, and when he gets sick, it leads to more asthma attacks for him.
And the Lung Health Foundation says there are other reasons for the September spike, too.
There's more ragweed pollen, weather changes, and indoor factors such as dust.
During the summer, Benji takes a break from his asthma medications.
The main puffer, and in these, there's medicine. There's lots of different medicines that go in.
And in September, his family reviews his asthma plan with his doctor.
The need to talk to his pediatrician about whether to start the medication again or not.
And his school.
So the school is very much aware that he has asthma. And then if he is having a difficult episode, we send his inhaler to school with instructions for his teachers.
Signs for a flare-up usually is the persistent wheezing. So there's like a rattling noise when they're breathing. They have difficulty speaking in full sentences. Sometimes they have difficulty sleeping at night, so they're waking up a lot.
As well as sharing your asthma plan, it's a good idea to make sure all your child's vaccinations are up to date.
I could do monkey bars. I could almost skip a ball, but I can't yet.
So kids like Benji can have a healthy and successful school year. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The Canadian Institute for Health Information says emergency department visits for pneumonia doubled last fall over the previous year. Young people between 5 and 19 years old were hardest hit. Experts say the numbers likely reflect an influx of patients with atypical pneumonia, known as walking pneumonia. During last year's respiratory illness season, it usually causes milder symptoms than other types of pneumonia, including cough, fever, and fatigue, but can sometimes be severe and lead to neurological symptoms and rashes. It's unclear if walking pneumonia will make a significant reappearance this fall.
Turning to our TIFF coverage, The Wizard of the Kremlin, starring Jude Law and Paul Dano, made its premiere last night. CTV's Andrea Case caught up with some of the stars on the red carpet.
You represent the Prime Minister Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin as a midget.
That's not...
A deformed dwarf manipulated by oligarchs.
I think in the minds of a gagman, he's more of a child.
Actor Paul Dano understands if people confuse his fictional new film, The Wizard of the Kremlin, with fact.
I felt like it's really reflecting something back to us about our times. It is a story about how we got here today, to this sort of very strange post-truth world where optics and the theater of politics plays a larger role than ever.
The year is 2019, and the geopolitical drama tells the tale of Vadim Baranov, a television producer who over 15 years transformed a seemingly uncharacteristic Federal Security Service chief into Russia's indomitable President Vladimir Putin. Directed by award-winning Olivier Assayas, a Frenchman who isn't afraid to tackle any variety of film topic, and an investigation into the making of the Russian president, he says, is timely.
I think our world is going through really striking changes. I think the politics are not the politics I knew from my earlier years. I think, and I think, you know, when you make movies, either you can turn your back to that. I mean, you can turn your back to modern history, or you can try to confront it in a...
Andrea Case, CTV News, Toronto.
And sticking with TIFF, it's day 8 of the festival, with more movies making their debuts.
Judy? Mom's speech might never come back.
Now it's going to tell me I'm wasting my life.
Welcome.
Adulthood, starring Josh Gad, will have its world premiere at Roy Thompson Hall tonight. The dark comedy, directed by Alex Winters, tells the story of a pair of adult siblings forced to cover their tracks after making a grisly discovery in their parents' basement. You can check out all the listings for today and the rest of the festival, and search for tickets on the TIFF website.
You must be the lady I've been hearing so much about.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to meet you, Mr. King.
And after its world premiere at TIFF last week, the first trailer's out for a film that's getting some Oscar buzz. Sydney Sweeney was here in Toronto for the debut of Christie. She plays groundbreaking women's boxer Christy Martin in what festival programmers called a career best performance. The movie was directed by David McHod and hits theaters November 7th.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
We have a warning about companies going door to door offering to pave your driveway, do home renovations, or check your roof. Remember to be cautious.
Scam contractors may say they're offering free inspections, but what they really want to do is trick you into expensive repairs. CTV's Pat Foran has this consumer alert.
Now, did your chimney have problems?
Not that I was aware of.
Richard Morris of Scarborough says last month his doorbell rang and it was a contractor offering to do a free chimney inspection.
To give me an estimate to repair my chimney, which I didn't see any harm in it.
Morris says once workers were on his house, they said a portion of his roof was in terrible shape. They ripped it up and told him the damage was so bad, if he didn't repair it, they would call the city and have his home condemned. Scammers may go door to door saying they're doing free chimney or roofing inspections, but once they get up on top of your home, that's when they do damage and then say you need serious repairs. Morris ended up paying the scammers $30,000. He had to pay another $10,000 to a legitimate company to repair his roof for a total of $40,000.
I was suspicious from the get-go, but they would do this damage and then want money to repair the damage that they did.
It's been very upsetting and scary.
We did a story recently with a Toronto couple who were also told if they didn't do roof repairs, their home would be condemned. They eventually handed over $480,000 for renovations. Most weren't needed.
The condition of the roof was so terrible that it was going to cave in. They had us feeling very frightened.
And is $40,000 a lot of money to you?
Yeah, it's causing a lot of problems. Yeah.
We were unable to contact the roofer by phone or email. Be cautious of anyone coming to your home claiming you need expensive repairs. Seek out a company yourself, check references, and don't pay in advance until work is done. Morris wanted to share his story to warn others.
What I would hope would come from this is just a heads up for everybody else out there so they don't do this to anybody else.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A new survey from Equifax suggests a majority of Canadians are willing to look elsewhere from their current lenders and banks as they consider their financial futures. The Credit Bureau surveyed more than 1,500 adults last month. 57% of those under 35 years old said they'd switch to a different financial institution if it helps them build and monitor their credit. That's compared to 38% of those in higher age groups. Meanwhile, 40% feel that their bank or lender could do more to support their credit needs, things like adjusting credit limits or offering new solutions. Equifax says it looks like younger borrowers are prepared to shop around.
We have seen a real understanding of changing credit needs in the next 2 to 3 years. So the majority of that age group under 35 did respond. They expect to see their credit needs change, and they might be willing to change lenders or service providers if they can find a better situation to help them build and monitor their credit standing.
The survey goes on to suggest 56% of those asked say they will explore refinancing their mortgages with a different lender when they come up for renewal.
A new report is out ranking the vehicles that are most frequently targeted by VIN cloning. Vehicles have unique identification numbers, but criminals can copy them onto stolen vehicles. Carfax Canada says the top targeted models are the Ford F-150 and the Ram 1500 series. They're followed by the Jeep Wrangler, the Ford Escape, and the Chevrolet Silverado. Earlier this year, Carfax estimated there were 127,000 cloned VINs registered across Ontario.
In sports, the Blue Jays rallied against the Astros for the second night in a row, but it was a different outcome last night.
About what his role might be is now this one is drilled deep left, and it's gone.
The Jays scored 2 runs in the 8th to tie it up, but then reliever Jeff Hoffman gave up a solo home run in the 9th, and the Astros ultimately won the game 3-2. The teams will wrap up their series this afternoon. First pitch is at 3:07. The Washington Commanders visit the Green Bay Packers tonight to kick off Week 2 in the NFL.
Daniels over the middle, caught, touchdown seconds.
Both teams had big wins in their opening week matchup. The Commanders crushed the Giants 21-6, while Green Bay beat Detroit 27-13. Kickoff tonight is at 8:15. You can catch the game on TSN. Short break.
All cases.
More when we return. A zoo in Cologne, Germany has welcomed a new arrival. Have a look. This giant anteater cub made its public debut today. Can you see it there? It's kind of camouflaged. It was born on August 28th, and its sex has not yet been determined. The young animal usually makes itself comfortable on the back of its mother, and their coat patterns, they blend together, making the cub barely visible. Giant anteaters are, in fact, an endangered species.
Well, you got to admit, you don't see them every day, do you?
No. Oh, there's a baby. There you go. Oh, wow. What a fascinating animal. All right, weather-wise, give us the goods.
Yeah, so earlier I was giving a shout out to Hamilton for being one of the province's hot spots, but now we got to shout out Toronto, because not only are we the provincial hot spot at this hour, but we're the hottest city in Canada. 24.4 degrees. We'll see if that goes up as we make our way into the next hour. We are expecting it to. Overnight tonight, dropping to a low of about 13 degrees. Watch for some patchy fog, especially past midnight. That burns off tomorrow morning. In the afternoon, we enjoy a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 23, which will feel more like 26. Next 3 days are looking good. A reminder, chance of showers into the day on Saturday. Nathan and Michelle.
Thank you, Lindsay. And that is CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Nathan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon.